Are you actually failing financially, or is your brain just completely lying to you? Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you've been lying awake at 2 a.m. stressing over your bank account, you're definitely going to want to stick around for this. We've put together this awesome motion graphic presentation to visually break down exactly why feeling totally broke doesn't necessarily mean you are.
Think about that sinking feeling of failure for a second. If you're a millennial or a Gen Xer, there is a super high chance you're walking around with this constant, low-level hum of financial anxiety. You know the feeling, right? Like you're permanently behind. Like you totally missed the boat because the economic goalposts just keep shifting further and further out of reach. I mean, between stagnant wages, wildly surging inflation, and a housing market that feels completely locked down. Catching up feels impossible, let alone getting ahead. But what if I told you the objective math actually says something completely different?
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our agenda for today. First, the retirement reality. Second, Sign 1, emergency fund. Third, Sign 2, retirement savings. Fourth, Sign 3, investing over saving. Fifth, overcoming the brain problem. And finally, number 6, your real net worth.
All right, Section 1, the retirement reality.
Look, it's completely normal to feel like you're losing the money game right now, but we really need to look at where that anxiety is actually coming from. Every single time you open social media, the algorithm aggressively feeds you this perfectly curated content of people claiming to be, retiring at 30, driving supercars, living in these massive mansions, and your brain falsely registers this digital highlight reel as the new normal. But here's the scary reality. The vast majority of people are actually severely underprepared for the future. This whole illusion of widespread, effortless wealth, it's a total myth. And comparing your everyday reality to that curated fiction is exactly what's generating all your stress.
Moving on to Section 2, Sign 1, emergency fund.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it shows the true foundation of everything. It's our first critical clue to your actual financial standing. And honestly, the sheer contrast between the average reality and genuine security is staggering. When surveyed, a shockingly high percentage of average Americans flat out admitted they could not cover a $400 unexpected expense using cash. No way. They'd have to swipe a credit card at some massive interest rate or beg a friend for a loan. So if you have an emergency fund of just $1,000, or even better, 3 to 6 months of basic living expenses, you aren't just slightly ahead, you are statistically dominating the average American. You've literally built a moat around your financial house.
And here's exactly why this matters so much. Building that buffer triggers a massive psychological shift. Without that emergency fund, you are perpetually trapped in financial survival mode. Every unexpected flat tire, broken water heater, or sudden medical bill, it isn't just a cost, it's a massive crisis that threatens to derail your entire life. But when you hit that benchmark of 3 to 6 months of expenses, you cross over into financial freedom. Suddenly, an emergency ceases to be a disaster. It just becomes a minor inconvenience. You write a check, and you move on with your day. If you have that cash buffer actively protecting your peace of mind, that is sign number 1 that you are way above average. Okay, Section 3, Sign 2, retirement savings.
Now, this is the area where people really start to panic. So let's look at the raw data. Get ready for a reality check. When you strip away the billionaires who artificially skew the mathematical average way up, the actual median retirement savings for a typical household approaching retirement age is staggeringly low. We're talking well under $100,000. It's a terrifying money stat, honestly, because if you apply standard financial withdrawal guidelines like the 4% rule to that nest egg, it means the quote-unquote average person is only going to be able to pull out about $4,000 a year. Let that sink in. They are going to have a profoundly difficult time maintaining even a basic standard of living when they stop working.
And this brilliantly illustrates why you absolutely shouldn't panic if you've been putting in the work. If you've been consistently putting money into a 401k, a Roth IRA, or a pension over the last few years, even if it feels like a modest amount right now, you are absolutely crushing that median. Seriously, you don't need $1 million sitting in an account today to be ahead of the curve. You just need the habit. By consistently participating in the market, buying assets regularly, and letting the immense power of compound interest do the heavy lifting over decades, you naturally pull away from the pack.
Which brings us to Section 4, Sign 3, investing over saving.
Having cash on hand is great for emergencies, sure, but how you treat the rest of your money is what truly determines your long-term trajectory. Let's look at how this builds on our previous points. Saving is purely a defensive maneuver. If you leave all your wealth parked in a traditional checking account, inflation is quietly and invisibly eroding your purchasing power every single year. The cost of groceries, housing, energy, it all goes up, but your cash stays exactly the same, which literally means you are safely losing money. Investing, however, That's your offensive strategy. If you're buying assets, like broad market index funds, solid stocks, or real estate, that compound and grow in value over time, outstripping inflation, well, you've successfully adopted the mindset of the wealthy. Actually doing this makes you exceptionally rare.
All right, Section 5, overcoming the brain problem.
So, if you meet these 3 signs, you have a solid emergency fund, you're consistently saving for retirement, and you're actively investing. Why do you still feel totally broke? Well, welcome to the brain problem. Our brains are hardwired for survival out in the wilderness, not for navigating modern personal finance. They constantly move the goalposts on us. As soon as you hit a financial milestone you used to dream about, say hitting a certain salary or net worth, your brain immediately normalizes it. Lifestyle creep sets in, you start buying slightly nicer things, and boom, your mind finds a new, much higher benchmark to obsess over. It's called the hedonic treadmill. The objective data clearly says you're secure, but your mind sets a relentless psychological trap to keep you feeling inadequate and stressed out.
To really cement this idea, let's contrast 2 completely different financial mindsets side by side. First, we have Dave. Dave makes a very healthy $100,000 a year. He drives a brand new leased luxury car, wears expensive clothes, the whole shebang. But he spends $105,000 a year to aggressively keep up those appearances. He feels rich, and he definitely looks rich to his neighbors, but statistically, he is entirely broke and completely trapped by the weight of his debt. Then we have Kevin. Kevin makes a much more modest $60,000 a year. He drives an older, paid-off car that doesn't turn any heads, but he automatically invests $5,000 every single year without fail. Kevin might feel like he's falling behind because he doesn't have a flashy lifestyle to post online, but Kevin is the one slowly, quietly building actual generational wealth. Seriously, do not be tricked by the illusion of Dave.
Moving into Section 6, your real net worth. So, the crucial point here is that we simply cannot rely on our deeply flawed feelings to tell us how we're doing financially. We have to discover your objective truth, because knowing this single metric is the absolute ultimate cure for that constant hum of anxiety. I want you to literally write this down today. Step 1. Rigorously add up everything you own. Your cash in the bank, your investment accounts, the equity you have in your home, even the current value of your car. These are your total assets. Step 2. Accurately add up everything you owe. Your credit card balances, those lingering student loans, your mortgage principal, these are your total liabilities. Step 3. Just subtract your liabilities from your assets. That single, final number, that is your real net worth. Stop letting your anxious brain do fuzzy, worst-case scenario math at 2 in the morning. Get the real objective number on paper. Because once you run those hard numbers and really look at the actual data we covered in this explainer today, you might just realize you're doing far better than you ever thought possible. You are consistently beating the average. Which leads me with one final provocative thought for you. If you found out you are actually ahead of the curve today, what will you do with your newfound financial freedom? Will you change your career, travel more, or just simply breathe a little easier? Let that sink in. Hey, if this explainer opened your eyes, provided some clarity, and helped quiet that financial anxiety, please hit that like button, comment your thoughts down below, share this with a friend, and make sure to subscribe for more information and insights that cut straight through the noise. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll catch you in the next one.